Hello, today I want to do another one of my 50 and fledgling share. Just back from my walk, and something that I'd like to share and just talk a little bit about in this journey or this path that we all share and that we all experience is the issue of that imposter syndrome feeling and that negative self-speak, and how sometimes we talk ourselves out of things before we even get started. We start second guessing and we start wondering, okay, can I achieve this, or we don't play. And I want to talk about that because it's a real issue. I never realized it had a name until around 2021. On LinkedIn, you had all these persons talking about imposter syndrome, and I read a little bit and I continued just noticing it, and I'm like, okay, that's a real mindset, and it can be a lot inhibiting. And for me, I find many times that I don't doubt my ability to do something, but what I do is I do question a lot, and rather than question the possibility of it happening, you tend to question the possibility of it not happening. And it's a real challenge, because what you put out there, you end up manifesting, and it ends up becoming real. And so today at 50 and fledgling, that's one of the things that I want to talk about, that I want to share about, the imposter syndrome of looking at yourself as who am I to think that I am an expert, or I don't like that word, I really don't like that word, or a specialist. I'm a little bit softer to that word, but again, not fully comfortable in walking in that shoes and calling it that. But just to be able to say, I'm good at this, I'm darn good at this, and if you join me or you have me do this for you, I am darn sure that I will deliver good on it. We're taught not necessarily to toot our own horn, that self-praise is no praise, and especially for women, we tend to be modest. We don't sign up to say, I will lead because that's who I am. I'm a leader and I'm good at being a leader. We tend to look more at selling our qualities, and soft selling ourselves. And so at 50 and fledgling, that's one of the learning, that's one of the living, that I think we become more comfortable with being able to say, hey, this is what I've achieved, this is what I know I'm good at, and it doesn't matter if you share that view or not, because I have enough evidence for myself to assert that. And also it's at that point in your professional life, your personal life, your professional life, where you can say, listen, I'm really able to do this. And I'll give you a very tangible explanation. We're in the middle of the discussion on the defamation bill, and for a while I wanted to start talking about it, not because there's anything wrong with the new defamation bill, because from my review of it, nothing humans do is perfect, but it's on a right track. But I was hesitant to. And you say, well, you're not an attorney. People will pick it apart. And it took me a while to get to the point I'd say, but hey, you're a trained journalist. Issues of libel and slander and defamation are things that you were trained on. There were things that you were mindful of when you practiced working in the media. And I had this article that I wrote with the help of a young legal mind that broke down the specifics of the law as it was drafted. And so I decided, bite the bullet, just share it. Just share it. I shared it on my personal blog. I shared it with a few other media persons, and people don't necessarily respond and say, what their views are about it, and they haven't actually. I shared it with one of the social media news platforms, and I shared it precisely because they have shown a willingness to to share the articles of other people, or of other writers, the positions and the views of other writers. And so I shared it in that view. On my page, my Facebook page, I noticed the Attorney General liked the post. And so I messaged her and I asked her, did you read it? What did you think? And she said, yes, I read it. And I like that you wrote very dispassionately about it with the goal to educate or inform. And sometimes you need those kind of commentaries to affirm and to assure. But many times in life, those may not be forthcoming and easily identified. And so you have to be strong within yourself to say, hey, I know I'm good at that. Whether somebody's publicly cheering on, or whether my share is gaining the vanity numbers in likes and comments. And again, I got another affirmation of that this morning, and I saw an attorney discuss it very cursory. And I realized, something, you had no reason to be doubting or being fearful of putting this out there. I established that I wasn't an attorney, and I established that I'm looking at it from my position as a journalist, and just to start a series of shares of what I think the bill actually does. Because when you talk about defamation, libel, and slander, the media tends to think that they've cornered the market on the application of such a law. But in today's day, where content generation and the media and multiple avenues are available for content share and opinion sharing and commentary is much broader, the mainstream media no longer corners the market on that particular issue, and they are not the solitary stakeholder in such a discussion. It's a much broader discussion and a much broader application now. And so I use that specific example to just highlight how we can cubbyhole ourselves because of negative speak and because of an imposter syndrome, when in reality you have full ability to, and of course you have full right to enter a forum for discussion on, or different forums for discussion, as it relates to a particular topic. And so I just wanted to share on that today, and to just encourage you, 50 and fledgling, avoid the negative speak and take imposter syndrome and check her in a corner, or him for that matter. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for listening.